Hello everybody and welcome to the presentation on leaves. Leaves. Is it a topic of discussion for high school level? Well, most of you won't think so. So, let me ask you a question. What can you imagine about leaves? What is the wildest thing you can imagine about leaves? Leaves. Yes, leaves. What can you imagine the wildest about the leaves? Well, most of you may have imagined things like this. These are leaves, right? Yes, you're not wrong. I am not going to contradict. I am not going to say that these are not leaves, but I have said the wildest imagination about the leaves. Most of you may not know, but some of you may know that these, what is this? Seed leaves, cotyledons, these are also leaves. They are the first leaves of a plant. One forms the shoot system, other forms a root system. That the shoot system, that is a plumule, consists of the two cotyledons. We will talk about them later. But even if you have thought about this, you might not have imagined this as a leaf, what I am going to show now. This. Oh, is this a leaf? No, no, you're joking, man. This is a flower. After all, a flower is a modified leaf. Did you know that? If you knew that, you are awesome. But I don't hope so you knew that. How can we prove that this flower is a modified leaf? How can we define a leaf? Let us work on that for some time in this video. So, if we look at the flower, it is not a leaf. Yes, I was right. A flower is not a leaf. Yes, a flower is not a leaf, but a collection of leaves. Yes, the petals, sepals, stamens, and the stigma, which is, sorry, it is not stigma, the gynoecium and the anthers, all these are individual leaves. How can we show that? How can we say all these things are leaves? First of all, if you observe a petal, this is not the petal of that flower, but a petal. And if you are watching this video at a high quality, you might be able to see these lines. And after seeing these lines, what strikes your mind first? That is, the veins in the leaves. Are not they similar to the reticulate venation found in the leaves of angiosperms, especially the dicots? Yes, they are. They are the same, and that's why they are called as leaves. Yet, there are more evidence why we can call them as leaves. It has been found out that, let me remove this all stuff. Okay, how to remove? Okay, let it go. Okay, my leaves have torn away apart and become half anyways. So it has been found scientifically that when we look at a flower, I am showing why we call the parts of a flower leaves. Let us see. So I have told this several times in the morphology videos about node and internodes. I am not going to repeat it now. And I have told also that leaves come out from the nodal regions. Let us see. I am going to draw something for you. What do you think this is? Well, most of you might not have able to imagine it, and it is quite natural. It's not a very good drawing, and this is not the complete drawing after all. This is the thalamus of a flower, which is the base of the flower, from with which you can hold the flower, and it has, as you might have guessed, sepals which are green. Okay, I am drawing only one sepal. There will be some colorful petals. Let me draw it in pink. This is the colorful petal. There is a colorful petal and there are some stamens. Okay, there's a stamen with a bilobed anther. I'm trying my best to draw a stem. Ah, yes. And there will be a, what we call this, a carpel. Yes, these terms are very confusing. We have carpel for this, and scientifically we call it gynoecium. Okay, this is a stigma. You might have imagined this is the ovary, this is the style. And why am I calling all these leaves after all? Let us come to the main question. That is, if we observe very minutely on this thalamus, we can find that there are regions of nodes at the regions where these things, whether these organs, floral organs, have grown. Means there are nodes over here. There are many nodes over this very small area. Can you imagine how small the base of the flower is, and how many sepals, how many petals, there may be stamens, there may be carpels. All these are arranged in that small base or the thalamus, and all these have one individual node from where they have grown. So there are so many nodes, so many of them, and let this node gives rise to this sepal, this node gives rise to this petal, and so on. And such we can say that on the thalamus, which is acting like a stem, these leaves have grown. So that's why they are called as leaf. First reason is that, and the second reason is we can find this similar venation as that of the leaf. Okay, let me give some more examples of some more wild examples of leaves. One can be the peel of onion, the outermost dry skin of the onion, which we throw away when we cook onions. That is also a leaf. So let's come to some terminologies. Okay, enough of stories. Now let's come to terminologies. First of all, very simple, and what most of you have thought about leaves before watching this video is the foliage leaf, and as you might have guessed, this is the typical leaf of a plant, or we can say green leaves of the plant that are collectively called as foliage leaves, or the all green typical leaves, what most of the people think about green leaves of the plant. Okay, very good. What is next? Next is floral leaves. That is what I talked about so much time in this video. Floral leaves. Okay, and what are these? These are the structures of the flower which are acting as leaves, means the floral appendages. So let me write it down. Floral appendages as leaves. Very good. What's next? Next is sporophylls. So I mean by floral leaves is sepals and petals, and sporophylls are the stamen and the carpel. They are also leaves. We cannot say that they have the venation as the petal might have had, but they are also leaves. It has been scientifically proven. So sporophylls. These are the reproductive leaves, or the leaves bearing spores or sporangia. We will talk about them at some later chapter, which is the reproduction in flowering plants. But for this time being, let me write leaves bearing spores. Okay, what's next? There are cotyledonary leaves. I showed you the picture that was of a bean seed, and if we cut it half, as you have seen in the picture, we will find out the cotyledons of the leaf. And this is called the cotyledonary leaf or seed leaf. So let me write the common name, seed leaf. Very good. Leaf inside seeds. Then also there are more terms like sporophylls. In botany you should always be acquainted with this term, sporophylls. Sporophylls are the first 1 to 2 leaves which appear in a newly born plant. So how will we write that? The first 1 to 2 leaves, let me write in short, 1 to 2 leaves appearing in a newly born plant. Okay, so from this word you can guess this, because pro means new or the beginning, and this is a newly born plant. And phyll is the general botanical term for the leaves. Okay, so what's next? There are many things next. Cataphylls are there. What is cataphyll? I gave you example. That is the peel of the onion which we throw away. They are the cataphylls. How will we define them? Cataphyll can be said as any simplified leaf like scale. Okay, so we can say scale leaves. They are cataphylls. Alright, and is there anything more? I don't think so. Okay, so these are the leaves which exist in nature. So how can we make a general definition for leaves? Because after all these, we need a general definition. We need to modify our understanding about leaves, and we can define leaf as, let me think, we can define leaf as a typical leaf is a green expanded exogenous lateral appendage which arises from the node of a stem. So that is a typical leaf, but a leaf should possess the following characters, let us say, or this character, that anything except anything growing from a node of a stem or its lowest branch, or let's say anything growing from the node of the lowest branch of a stem. Quite good. So we can say that is leaves. So literally everything in the plant except the shoot means only the stem, except the stem, the roots and the fruit can be called as leaves. So intuitive definition. Now let me give you an idea about the parts of a leaf, which I think everybody knows, but it is quite confusing at sometimes. So let me give you an idea. So a leaf, as always, as I have defined by taking pane, will grow from the nodal area, and there is a branch, let's say, and the leaf grows like this. Very good. The leaf has grown like this. There will be the veins on a normal, let us assume that this is a normal leaf, typical leaf. not the wild guesses or the wild imaginations about leaves. This is a normal leaf. Okay, so let me mention some terms, that is the hypopodium, the mesopodium, and the epipodium. Okay, so hypopodium. What is hypopodium? This is the area where the leaf is connected to the stem. Only this area. Okay, don't think this area is also the hypopodium. No, only that point. It is not an area after all. It is only a point. That point where the leaf is connected to the stem, that nodal point, that is hypopodium. Let us spell it. It may not be very clear at the video, so let me spell it. Hypopodium. Okay, next, mesopodium. Mesopodium is, as you have guessed, the area which is in between the lamina of the leaf or the leaf plate and the hypopodium. There is a mesopodium. It is in common terms called the petiole of the leaf. So podium or petiole. Okay, what's next? This is the, oh, my text box is coming out from anywhere. This is the epipodium, that is everything in the lamina of the leaf. This is the epipodium. Okay, so epipodium, podium. So these are the three broad areas of the leaf. Now let us dive into some detail. Now first, the hypopodium area. Let us talk some more things about the hypopodium area. There is something wrong with this. Don't know what. I'm not able to. Oh, this text box is making the problems. Okay. Now hypopodium. As I have told, the hypopodium is the area where the leaf, or not the area, just the point where the leaf is connected to the stem. There's the stem, there's the leaf, this point, hypopodium. Now this hypopodium can be amplexicaul or semi-amplexicaul. It can be stipulate or ligulate. Let us talk about these terms. Amplexicaul is a maybe Latin word, and in English it means to hug or to surround it. Okay, enclosing. So amplexicaul leaf, as you may have guessed, will be hypopodium, or the leaf starts from this end. It surrounds the stem like this. Okay, so it surrounds the stem. I hope you may have imagined it. This is the petiole. The leaf has originated from the back side of the stem or the other side of the stem, and the petiole surrounds the stem, and then there is the leaf. Okay, so I hope you have understood. This type of leaf is called the amplexicaul type of leaf. And what are some examples? The examples are wheat, grasses. They are the amplexicaul leaves. Okay, and there can be semi-amplexicaul leaves, which encloses the stem only halfway. So how can we explain that? It encloses the stem halfway. So if this is the stem, okay, it starts from here and then it goes halfway. Means it is very difficult to show on this 3D view, and then it arises from here. Okay, so it doesn't enclose it completely. It's very difficult to show in this 3D thing in 2D. Let me give a better try. Okay, so let us say this is a stem. Now the petiole is divided into two parts, right? The petiole, one petiole means the petiole is bifurcated into two parts, like this branching you have studied. The petiole is bifurcated into two parts. One part goes behind the stem, one part goes above the stem, and they meet and make the leaf. Now in here, the petiole, the hypopodium, starts from 2 points, from here and from another point on the stem. On the stem it starts, and then they merge, and then they make the leaf. Much clearer right now. See, it is not surrounding it completely, but it is surrounding it, so we call it semi-amplexicaul. So let me write these terms. Amplexicaul is quite a difficult spelling, so let me spell it. This one is semi-amplexicaul. Semi-amplexicaul leaf. And let me give example. Example is buttercup or ranunculus. Let me write buttercup. It will be so many terms thrown at you at once. I don't want. You will gradually learn the scientific names. Scientific names are never learned in one day. Okay, so mind it. Buttercup. And this one is the amplexicaul. Amplexicaul. And the example is the wheat, as I gave you, wheat, and another example can be what I gave you, grasses. Okay, grasses. Okay, so these are leaf bases. I also told about stipulate and ligulate type of leaves. What are these? These are nothing but appendages which grow from the hypopodium, from where the leaf is originating. So let's say the leaf is originating from here. Some pointy structures, usually in pairs, will grow from here, and they are called as the stipules of the leaf, and it originates from the hypopodium. I hope you are understanding. So these things, these pointy structures, are called the stipules of the leaf. If you have interest in the plants, you might have observed all these structures, but nowadays students have less interest in plants. They are busy with, or they have less interest in their environment. They are busy with their laptops, and due to technological advances, it is quite natural to do so. Anyways, this is the stipules. And what is the example of stipules? Let me think. Example of stipule can be, there can be many examples. One, gardenia can be one example of stipules. This plant grows, this is a wild plant actually, gardenia. This is the scientific name. Let me make it in italics. This gardenia is an, I lost my text box. So much bad is happening to me today. Anyways, I will complete this video, no doubt. Stipules are these, what we say, pointy structures which grow in pairs from the point where the leaf originates, or the hypopodium. What are ligules? Ligules are some scaly outgrowth which is from the point where the leaf originates. Okay, so there are a lot of things in this diagram. Let me make another two parallel lines which are not at all parallel to represent the stem, and then let me make a simple leaf to now. Okay, and let's say there is one, this stem is some scaly outgrowth is present over here from where the leaf is arising, or the hypopodium, and that part, that structure, the scaly outgrowth, we call as the ligule, and it is considered to be a part of the leaf only. Okay, stipules, ligules are considered to be the part of the leaf only, not a extension of the stem as some people think. So they are the ligules. So the video is going quite long. Let me pause till here. In the next video we will talk about the mesopodium, the petiole and the lamina of the leaf. So thank you. Bye.